Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an awesome, beautiful life. All right, today we're going to rewrite your story. So I just did a video with Joe Dispenza that says basically it's natural for humans to create a negative story, a negative outcome when they go to change their lives. Fear sets in and they project the worst possible outcome. And so that's manifesting. So they're focused on it and they don't know why anything's changing because they're saying, well, I'm going towards this. But in your mind, you've already created this really negative final outcome. And then you never really put 100% into the change that you want to make. And you talk yourself out of stuff and quit things or run back to the relationship or whatever it is you're going to do. Or stay in the poverty and struggle all the time. Because you're projecting that if you make these changes, you step outside of your comfort zone, that final outcome is going to be disastrous because that's what the ego does. It's a protection system, right? It says, you know this. Even though it's uncomfortable, at least you know what this is. And if you go over there, you could lose everything. And it'll be very uncomfortable. And yeah, you know what? It's going to be a little uncomfortable. But I'm going to tell you what. You'll be shocked when you take those steps. You're going to be empowered. It's like, whoa, this is scary, but wow, it feels really good. When I quit investment banking, that's Series 7. That is a tough test to take. And I was going to let it expire, and that was the final thing. I knew there was no going back. And that night, I went to bed, and it's like somebody lifted a ton of weight off of me. I was empowered. I had finally let it go. And I was shocked. I knew I was making the right move to get away from that life that I didn't want to live anymore. But the surprising part was I thought that I would have some anxiety or some I let it, and I didn't have any of that. When I finally made that step, when I finally went into that unknown zone, all of a sudden I was empowered. And it felt wonderful because I knew I was going in the direction of joy, of passion, of big change. And there was no going back. Not unless I wanted to go take that test, and that was going to take a long time. So I want you to think about this because that final story that you were running in your head that's negative, that the ego, the natural human thing is to protect you, so it runs all the worst case scenarios. Let's rewrite your story. Let's rewrite that story. Okay, so once you get, I don't do it on my computer. I hand write things. I do have business plans and stuff on my computer, but I like to write things because your energy goes into that. Get a pen, paper, or pencil and paper, whatever you want. You can stop this, you can pause it and come back. So go get it. And I want you to write your story. So we always write goals. I want $1 million. I want a great relationship, blah, 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 blah. Well, I wrote some things that showed up, and it triggered some fear with me because I asked for acceleration. Yikes, be careful with that. I asked for acceleration of all my goals. And my goals were to take this to the next level in a big way. And one of the stipulations was that everything that I was doing had to benefit other people, that it had to produce good on this planet, that I was either helping change people's lives or whatever we were creating and making was going to give other people tools so that they could change their own lives, empower them. So we're doing some really awesome stuff with vets and homeless and underprivileged kids. We're doing something that's really unique, that is very badly needed, that is actually going to protect them, give them tools, and possibly change their lives, but everything is still a choice, right? So you get to choose today. What is your story? The one that you want to live. I want you to write that story because we reverse engineer everything. When we have our goals, we're writing what we want. But there's no story. Now, I'm not telling you to tell the universe how those things will come to you. I'm telling you to tell the universe how you want to live your life. I get up. every day whenever I want to. By the way, I really do that. Any day. Weekends are irrelevant to me because every day is a weekend for me. I get up whenever I want. I am creative. I'm constantly creating positive things for other people that I'm passionate about. I get rewarded for the things that I do. I'm abundant and I never worry about money because money flows to me. And because you're giving, that is all coming back to you. Uh-oh, my neighbor's, I hope this doesn't disrupt us. My neighbor is blowing the leaves off of his lawn. I want you to write the story. I get up whenever I want. I have coffee on my balcony overlooking the ocean in my beach house. I never worry about money. So you don't have to say where it's coming from. You don't even have to say how much. I never worry about money. I get to shop and buy things for my family. I send my kids to the best schools. They get to pick those schools. They get to pick what they want to do with their lives. There's no pressure on them. I have all of the resources to take care of my sick mom or dad or whatever it is. And that flows easily to me, and they are taken care of. They are, comfortable and happy. There is no conflict in my life, and the challenges that I take on are ones that I grow from and I learn from and welcome and make me a better person. I never suffer from them. I no longer suffer because suffering is a byproduct of fear. And I fear nothing. I trust in the universe because I am the universe. And I have every capability to change my life, create joy, and release all negative feelings. And I don't own those anymore. I no longer own negative feelings. I have the ability to recognize when they show up, and I send them off with light and love. I no longer fight them. I recognize those as old patterns, and that's not me anymore. I am a new person. The one that I love being, the one that embraces the world and that the world embraces. I am a changing force for this world, a positive force on this planet. My frequency is going to increase constantly, and it's going to affect everyone around me. And I live in a beautiful world where there are no wars, there's no poverty, and abundance flows for everyone. I bless everyone. I send my light and love to those who are still learning and have their own challenges to break through. And I bless that, and I release my judgment on any of that. And you can name it, I'm a musician, and my band is, cohesive, and we share beautiful music. I'm an artist. I get to paint a seaside every day, whenever I want. I have wonderful, positive friends in my life, and we have dinner parties. And I get to cook for them in a beautiful kitchen equipped with everything I've ever wanted. I get to travel anytime I want, wherever I want, and I fly first class. I don't even think twice about it. I get to do whatever I want, and new things and opportunities will flow to me constantly, and they're going to be exciting, and new people will come in my life. And I'm going to have so much abundance that I'm going to be able to share and change other people's lives. And it's going to feel really good. And I will live in harmony until which time I decide to leave this planet. I will join the fourth and fifth and higher dimensions while I am here. And I welcome those physical changes that are going to allow me to move up to those higher frequencies. And I choose that. Today and every day, I am a higher frequency. And my mind is clear, and I'm joyful, and I'm so grateful. I am so grateful for all of these things. You want to write your story? Can we change it right now to whatever you're believing or thinking or fearing, and whatever fearful story you've created that's never going to happen? It never does. Have you ever noticed that? Whatever story you tell yourself when you try to make change. Oh my God, I'm going to end up broke. Oh my gosh, I'm going to end up alone. No, you won't. No, you won't, because you are in charge of your reality. You get to change it. Everything's a holograph. You're a hologram. You can change your frequency and walk through a wall. People have done it, by the way. Let's not even go into what's going on out there. If you don't believe that, that's fine. You don't have to. You just have to trust that this story that you just created is a probability that you are claiming now and bringing into your physical world. That is a fact. That probability, that story you just wrote, exists right now. And if you trust and accept it, it will show up in your life. That is law. That's the physical laws. Because you have choice. We're given choice. And we can also have all the bad stuff. The sickness, the poverty also. Because we're focusing on that and we've got that story running because you're manifesting 24/7. That's all you ever do. Write that story. And I want you to write it and feel it. Feel that breeze on your face when you're sitting out having coffee and that sun is shining and somebody's running down the beach with their dog and he's barking and you wave at your neighbors and the birds are singing and the sun is shining and it's glistening on the water and you can hear those waves coming in. Can you hear them? I can hear them. And it's so calming. And maybe that perfect mate says, honey, I'm going to cook you breakfast. And you order that fabulous breakfast in that open kitchen that's overlooking that ocean while you're sitting on the balcony. Your mate, your spouse, your whatever is in the kitchen and you can smell that omelet or pancakes or whatever you want. You can smell it. And you can smell that fresh brewed coffee. And you're in love and this person adores you and all you two have to think about is what you're going to do for the rest of the day. And maybe you pull your computer out and you're writing a song or writing a book or you're blogging some cool stuff to the world and helping them change their lives. Wouldn't that be wonderful? You know, I get up and I cannot wait to get in front of this camera because so many great ideas come to me that are not mine. They're ours. We share it. Nobody owns an idea, by the way. So if you get one, you better get it out there quick. Somebody else is going to claim it. Get your ideas out. When they come to you, I have a book. I write them down. I have a little notepad, and I'm like, write it down, and darn, if I miss one, I forget. I go, what was that great idea? Because the collective consciousness is sending you all this great stuff all the time. And when you meditate, you open up to that. It's like, oh, I need to do something. You know what happened this week? It actually triggered some fear in me, which I'm, working through. And that stuff's going to show up. And this is why when you write your story and you're living it, you're not thinking about all that stuff. There are no triggers. But I had an ex-client kept coming in my head, and I haven't talked to this woman in 2 years. Brilliant NASA engineer. And I don't know why, but I reached out and said, what are you doing? You're on my, I said, I don't know why, but I'm supposed to call you. She said, I had a dream last week and you were in it. I said, you're kidding. I said, we're supposed to do something. She just flew here and spent the whole week with me. She got on it. She took the action. Instead of saying, I don't know what we're supposed to do, she got on a plane. I said, spend the week here. We brainstormed all week. We had meetings with some of my contacts. We all started to share ideas, and we were talking over each other blah, 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 blah. We couldn't stop, the ideas were flowing, kept interrupting each other because we were so excited with the synergies and they all fit in. Because I acted on the collective consciousness. I acted on that urge to call that woman, and I made that phone call. I also had an urge to call somebody else that I haven't talked to in ages. And he said, I was thinking about you. People, this stuff's coming to you. All those probabilities are there. Focus on that story. Write that story. You're already writing. It's not even your ending. You're writing your reality. And that will continually change. So I actually am changing my story again. I'm notching it up. I wanted to make sure that when I notch it up, I'm going to be okay with that because it's going to take more work. And I said, yes, I'm ready for this. I want to do this. It's great. I'm going to change the world for people. Literally. Some of the stuff we're doing. Because I'm working with, brilliant people that can facilitate things. And with our combined expertise, something I never imagined we're launching this week. Because my story was, I'm going to bring good to this world. New opportunities and ideas come, and I didn't name what that was. And the universe sent it to me. So keep it open, but if you want to be on that ocean, you name it. You sit on that ocean. You write that story. You look at it. You feel the breeze. You smell the salt water. Your little doggy or whatever jumps in your lap and licks your face. You know that feels good, doesn't it? Can you, if you're an animal person, picture a little puppy just loving you. That makes you feel good, doesn't it? I always say, go to your puppy place. And I want you to write that story out. Maybe you say, this in the afternoon, my perfect mate and I go shopping for a new car. I was actually, my favorite car is either the Tesla or the Maserati. And I actually realized that I probably don't even want it. I love it. Maybe I'll lease one for a few months. I don't even need that stuff anymore. It doesn't hold an importance to me. It's really my quality of life, sitting on the ocean, being with friends, living my life to the fullest is really what I want to do. And all the rest of the stuff is a bonus. But if that's what you want, say we go shopping for a Maserati or a Tesla, or we decide, honey, let's get on the computer and let's see if there's a first-class flight to Paris. And you pack your bags because first thing in the morning, you're going to go to the airport and you're going to fly to Paris for a few days because there's just one restaurant there that you wanted to have a Michelin 4-star Michelin meal. And go on. Have you ever gone on the river and the Louvre? And gone on that dinner cruise? I have. In Paris. Full-blown 6-course meal while you're going past the Eiffel Tower on this beautiful boat. I've done all of that. Because that's what I envision. I have stories. I don't restrict myself. I've been on safaris in Africa for weeks at a time. I've been diving in the Seychelles Islands. I've done unbelievable stuff. I spent a few weeks in Turkey, Rome, Paris, Spain, name it. Well, there's a few places I haven't gone. But my point is that I'm living my life and somehow these things show up. They always show up and they will show up for you. Write that story and get excited. Because sometimes we write $1 million and you're not going to get excited about $1 million. Write the details and you read that. And if you have any negative thoughts, you pick that up and you go through all those feelings and envision that story in detail. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to be a speaker. Envision yourself on that stage talking to people. Envision yourself playing the concert at some, spiritual rally out in California with the mountains in the background and the vineyards. Envision it, feel it, hear it, smell it, taste it. And I guarantee you, If you stay on this every day and you really practice those feelings and that story, you will start to experience changes. It's the law. You're manifesting. And if you're no longer focused on the negative final outcome that is never going to happen, this will manifest. Your probability will materialize and the wave will become a particle. Write your story. You are whole. You are perfect. You are strong. You are powerful beyond your imagination. But use that imagination. You're loving. You're harmonious. You're happy. Thank the universe, the source, the one of which you are, for all of these beautiful things that you just wrote down. Thank you for all of those things that exist now and are in your life, are materializing in your life right now. Thank you for it. Thank you for these things that I have. And you'll see them. Namaste.